Hi guys, we're just back home from Star Wars: The Force Awakens, and we're just here to make a little video about two videos actually. One just with our thoughts, and one that goes more in depth in the story aspects. So
Yeah,
spoilers. So the second one is for when you've already seen the movie yourself, if you're gonna see it,
or if you just don't give a shit.
yeah, because we're just gonna talk about intricacies about the story which we liked or didn't like. This one is just a little bit going to be a little bit about, in general, like things that are fun and if you should see it or not, in our opinion.
But there's going to be like minor spoilers in this review or our thoughts. So if you don't want to like be truly surprised, you don't want to know anything. What are you gonna say about it now? We have to say it's a Star Wars movie, and if you like Star Wars, you'll like this movie. Right?
Yeah, even if you if you haven't seen the previous ones, you can still just see it. They, in my opinion, they did a pretty good job of explaining explaining the nods to the previous movies, which are for the fans. So you don't even have to see them. You can just go into this like this.
Yeah. So that said, turn off the video now if you don't want to know anything, because we're going to talk about the story first. So I think it was cool after trailers. I think people got a basic idea of what the story was about, but not really like, we know what's gonna happen.
Not even that. They made some twists and they didn't show it completely, or showed it very distortedly. It was very much, they really in the trailers only showed that it's a Star Wars movie. Like there's gonna be a lightsaber battle. Yeah. There are gonna be dogfights with X-wings and TIE fighters.
Weird aliens and desert planets. So
Star Wars.
Yeah. So I totally didn't know what it was about until like the opening crawl came, and basically what the story is after the events of Return of the Jedi, something happened. We're not gonna spoil that, but Luke Skywalker pretty much disappeared. Like nobody knows where he is.
Even in the opening crawl, it doesn't say.
No, but later in the movie they explain. But basically they need to find him. They need to find Luke Skywalker, and they need to find this MacGuffin. No, it's a piece of a map that leads to him, and that's the story, I guess.
Well, I think it starts off a lot like A New Hope, because it's like
it's very similar.
At the end of 6, you thought they beat the Empire, but they didn't. There were still some like neo-Nazis, but then neo-Empires, they're called the New Order.
I think they're even more like Nazis now than in
the like
movie.
They even do like the like with a fist instead of like an open hand,
like a giant red. You see that in the trailer, like the giant red banner behind. Yeah, it's like Sieg Heil almost. They almost said that. Sieg Zion almost.
Yeah, but they do that. So they're neo-Nazis, and Luke disappeared for some reason. And like in A New Hope, the Death Star has been built, and the Rogue One got the plans on how to destroy them, and they're escaping, and Leia has them and gives them to R2-D2 in part 4. Mm-hmm. In part 5, like he said, Luke is gone. That's in the opening crawl, and the best fighter of the best pilot of the rebellion got a piece of the map that leads to where Luke is, and he's being followed. Basically the same start of 4.
Yeah, they're chasing the people that have the thingy that everybody wanty.
Yes.
We're not gonna say more about what happens.
Oh, right. One more
that.
thing. It's like, because Luke is the supposed only Jedi left. The New Order, how they're called, the bad guys. First Order. Sorry, yeah, the First Order. They want Luke dead, so they're after the piece as well. And the Rebellion wants Luke because they need him to defeat the Sith.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So that's why everybody wants it. So what happens after that, we're not gonna spoil it here, but basically it's like a giant chase to get the thingy. So yeah, we can't really say more about that without really spoiling it. So let's talk about the characters though, because we know those go through the story. Yeah, it's better to talk about the characters first.
Right.
So we got in the trailers, you got Finn, Rey, Poe Dameron, which is the pilot. You got Han Solo and all the other old cast of the movies back. Now, I'm gonna say like don't expect everybody to have like this huge role like C-3PO is gonna be in the whole movie, because that's not gonna be it. It's mostly gonna be focused on the new characters.
Yeah.
And I like that a lot because it's supposed to be a new movie. I don't care well, I care about the old people, but I don't want to see another whole other movie just
Yeah,
them again.
they did that in 1, 2, and 3, and that would kind of sucked because like, why would R2 and C3PO just happen to be made by Anakin? I mean C3PO, not R2D2, but why are they supposedly these superhuman robots
surviving everything?
Yeah,
in the world.
It's crazy, and it's not needed. And in this new movie, it's totally like they really made it as a new generation, like new main characters. Like the old cast is like primarily in this one as a nod, like to send the new generation off to their adventures, and I really like that.
I did as well, and
I thought the ball droid was so much fun.
Yeah, it was cool.
Like,
and it was a real droid. It was a fucking real thing. It was not a CG abomination.
In a few things, they did make CG.
Yeah, okay, when it was
mostly
necessary,
it was real. But what I really liked about it is because they chose for it to be a big ball with a little robot on top of it. It could convey so much more emotion than R2D2. R2D2 could only do if he was sad,
sounds,
but this guy could really like, because he has a head, basically he could like, it could roll forward a bit to like his head is down, that he's really sad.
Yeah, or it can be excited, and
they did that extremely well, and it was a really good choice to do that.
Yeah, and I'm also glad I didn't do that thing where it's, oh look, the new characters are just younger versions of the old ones. No, these are different characters, and they have different backstories,
but they still relate very much to like the previous characters. They did that really well. Like it's really the next generation in that universe.
Yeah,
and I really like that.
Now there's some good twists regarding the characters, but we're not gonna say them. I'm just gonna say it's a good one. I think, right? It was a good twist.
I like the twists a lot. I think that were really good. Yeah.
So we're going to continue that more in Spoiler Corner. I really don't want to say anything more about the characters and story because, I think it would be spoiling it. Just it's better if you don't know anything, or at least as possible, and just go in the movie just with an open mind and like wow and be surprised. I think that's the best way to see it. But we could talk more about something else that we both loved, and that was the effects.
Yeah. The stormtroopers were all really just people in suits.
They
CG, actually had the suits. Like in 1, 2, and 3, they were just all CG. I just rewatched them 2 days ago, and in 2 and 3, the clone troopers almost looked like they looked in the Cartoon Network show The Clone Wars. It was crazy to me, and that they even went as far as put Jango Fett's head on top of the 3D model as like just. Like stick it on instead of him actually just in a suit right there.
Yeah. But other effects, our biggest thing that we liked was there is a lightsaber fight. Don't think that's a surprise because they showed it in the trailer. There's going to be a fight, and that was done so well in my opinion. Like I think the best lightsaber fight of all the movies, and that's a big thing to say because people always say, oh, the prequels, the fighting was done better than in the originals because when they were just like, oh, they were just hitting each other. I
think they were done way worse in the prequels because in the prequels they're just twirling around their swords and doing front flips here and there everywhere. Like in part 3 where Anakin and Obi-Wan are just fighting, at one point they're just twirling their swords around, not even hitting each other, like right in front of each other. There's no point and no weight to it. Like they're just flowing around, but in the lightsaber fight, the headpiece of this movie, there was so much physicality to it. It was really like they're slamming each other. Like they're really swords with a little bit of weight, and like when they hit each other, they really like bounce back a bit, and it's so good how it also interacts with the environment, how stuff gets cut and like it still lights up a bit, it fizzes after it, and also just like they actually are lightsabers. Like they give light. Like it reflects off of everything.
People's faces. And what I also like is that now you see a lot more sparks flying around.
Yeah,
like everywhere, and it made it more effective in my opinion.
It was really cool.
And people get hit also. People get like hit in the shoulder and stuff, and they don't get their arms cut off. I'm really glad that they don't do that. No one's hand gets cut off in this movie. Thank God.
Like, dismemberment happens way too easy in the previous movies because like in part 3, Obi-Wan literally does and Anakin loses an arm and a leg, and
It cost him an arm and a leg.
yeah, and in part 2, Dooku also just does whoosh, this, and the arm flies off, and
But here, people do get hurt. They get hit with the lightsaber. They don't,
yeah, and it's really like
their heads don't get
cut,
chopped
and you
off,
really
and
see like it
yeah.
fizz a little bit still,
Yeah.
and then it dies off, but it's still like they're really like But that's also related to the characters that I think that's part of it. Why they don't immediately like cut something off, but they really show like they get hurt, and then it brings they still keep fighting because they have to. It's like who lives and who dies.
Yeah, it was
almost.
I didn't expect it to be this. Like, I don't know what I expected for a lightsaber battle, but I didn't expect it to be as this. It was actually pretty suspenseful.
There were even like
yeah.
it wasn't even just lightsaber fighting. Like they were even kicking and punching in between it. It was so awesome.
I mean, they did that before, but for some reason it felt like here was.
It was very well.
I think weight is the right word.
Like,
yeah,
it was awesome.
If I
like they were really like swords. Like it wasn't just like a light beam. It was really like a stick of plasma.
A sword. And
it was awesome.
Yeah. So besides that, I think they overplayed the traditional effects a little bit. I mean, there's still a lot of CG, but there is a lot of real locations as well, and I love that. Like when they enter this like base, it looks like a base and not like a computer, like they entered a video game.
Yeah.
That like they entered the Matrix. No, it's like it's all real locations, and only stuff like the space battles is obviously CG because
but that makes sense
to do it. It makes sense
because if you compare it to how you can do it otherwise, is that you get a miniature model, but that's just incredible amount of work, and then it still looks kind of janky. Well, in 3D, especially with how the quality people can get out of it now, it can get really good.
Yeah, and also
even, I think that, like they even did some of the explosions like. In the sand, I think those were even real. Some of them.
Yeah, the explosions. I think, from what I saw from like behind the scenes stuff, I think that was all real. Like when something crashed to the ground and explodes, that's real. It's not a fake like CG explosion. And I think that also makes it more believable. Just the whole thing, it makes it feel more real, even though it's obviously fake. But it's
of course since it is a J.J. Abrams movie, there are lens flares. That's just how he does things.
Well, I didn't get the feeling like it was lens flare overload. Like it was
I did see a lot of them. At least in the first scene. In the first scene, there were the most of them. Like he just got them out of the way. Like, okay, this is it. Now I don't have to do it for the rest of the movie.
Well, it was a little bit like
it was actually quite funny why he does it. The lens flares.
It makes sense when it appears, in my opinion. Like when a laser flies by. And
oh, that was so cool. By the way,
we're not gonna spoil that. That's a good twist. So we're not gonna spoil it. But
at the start, that was so awesome.
That was really cool. What else is there to say without giving anything away? I guess the acting. What's the acting? I'm not an acting expert. I suck at telling if someone can act well.
I think the acting was done very well, and the writing as well, because it was really convincing. It wasn't really like everything went smoothly. Like people made mistakes here and there. Like they tried to think of a plan, and they didn't think of everything yet, and then they quickly remembered it at the end. Oh, you also do this,
Yeah,
and
it felt like they were actual people and not robots.
Like they really cared about stuff. Like also the stuff with fixing the thing in the spaceship, like where you
fixing the thing in the thing when they're in the thing.
I'm just saying the spaceship and the thing. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
Where you had to find the stuff because he lied about being knowledgeable about stuff. This is very vague, but it was really cool how they just really felt like a real human being. Like you make mistakes, you lie, you feel pride.
But you're forgetting one thing. There was a desert planet, and I don't like sand.
It gets everywhere.
There's nothing like that. Thank Lord.
Yeah, well, there is a whiny emo kid, but he's not as bad as Anakin.
Not nearly, like not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's drama in this movie. Thankfully, it's not all action. It's not all like explosions and they forget the story. No, there's just drama
and the writers were very brave.
Yeah, and there were legit
for stuff they pulled off.
Yeah, and there's legit funny moments.
Yeah, I had to laugh a lot.
Yeah,
the new droid is very good, and Finn is extremely funny in my opinion.
I think they did that well without making it too ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think it's kind of similar to what you'd see in like a Marvel movie maybe when it's like, maybe a little less. It's serious, but it has like
I think it's done
Fine
even
for
better
jokes.
than the Marvel movies, because the Marvel movies are very much like, yeah, these are comics, you know, it's like haha, tongue in cheek and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's fine because that's what it is, and they do it that well. But this is very much like it's really just a sci-fi movie. But those people are just, some of them are just funny. They make jokes. Not really specifically like why did the chicken cross the road or something. They don't make jokes like that, but they just try to be funny sometimes because that's just what that character is. You know,
Yeah.
like Han Solo did that as well.
Okay, so we just talked for a very long time about what we thought, what we liked. But what was there something that you were like, oh, that sucked? There's one thing I think that sucked. But
Yeah, you go first. Sorry.
Well, no, I think you should go. But I wanted to say there's one thing I think that sucked. But if I say it, then it's a spoiler. So I'll
right.
go into that later.
Yeah.
I know you know what I mean. I hope.
Well, we'll hear it in the other video. But one thing that I thought was kind of sad is like we said what the setup was of this movie, and it was kind of disappointing to me a bit because at the end of 6 it's really like Sidious is dead, Darth Vader has become good again. Like, these are spoilers, but they're movies from the 80s.
I suppose you've seen those. I hope so. I think what you mean is that
well, I mean, like, Sidious died, Vader became good and died.
It was a happy ending.
The
Basically.
Siths were gone. Everybody was celebrating. It was literally the end of the Empire. That was how it was shown. It was really like everything is gone. The Republic is back. Everything is good. And then at the start of this movie, it was already like, no, not everything was good. They really were like, yeah, no, it wasn't good. The Empire was still very much there. And the rebels still had to keep going.
I think what it was they were
and then
they went away for a while and then they came back. I think maybe we don't know. I think, but
we don't know part of it.
But that's the whole problem with the movie in that it's even being made at all.
Yeah, but at the start it very much felt like, oh yeah, no, they weren't defeated there. They just kept going, and the rebellion had to keep going. And even further in a little bit further in the movie, they showed that they had talked about how the actually maybe this should be in the spoiler video. Sorry for the cliffhanger, but I don't want to spoil things for those who still want to see it. So sorry.
Okay, what I didn't like is I think there was, well, I didn't hate it, but there was, I think, a little too much of nodding to the original movies, a little bit, like too much jokes, like, hey, get it? This and this happened. The Death Star happened, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know, I think that's not to the point where it becomes annoying.
Well,
but
the Death Star happened. I don't think that was very natural.
Okay, that was a good one. But there was
that was
times...
like this is the Death Star. This is the new Death Machine.
No, I don't. I meant another moment. But I mean, I think in my opinion, they could have done without all those references.
Yeah,
I would have liked it fine. But I think maybe a lot of older people would be like, I'm nostalgic now.
Yeah. Honestly, I didn't mind it too much. I just thought it's like, yeah, it's just, I already knew that it was gonna happen, so I didn't mind it. Like, it wasn't done gratuitously.
No,
it was there, but it was not too much. And one thing that I thought was really surprising is that like Carrie Fisher, Leia, when I saw her there, I was really like, wait, that's Carrie Fisher? Like,
she shrunk.
No, yeah,
she was a lot shorter than I remember.
I recognized her, but I thought
she had that haircut from like Hoth.
No. What I mean though is like I thought that was a different actress that I saw in different movies, and now I have to check if that was the same because her voice changed so much. Like it really became
drugs, man. Drugs are bad, man.
It really became this old lady voice, like sincere old lady voice.
She's an old lady now.
I know, but what I mean,
60 or something.
It's like it's a completely different tone, and like it has
she,
this sort of ring to it,
mean.
You know,
yeah.
like this sort of ring that keeps going while she talks.
Yeah.
And I try to remember from which other movies I've seen her. I just look at IMDb a bit later, but that was very surprising to me. I'm like, wait, that's her? I've seen her in other movies besides Star Wars already. Like, wow.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about seeing in her other movies, but
I mean,
you might be right.
She has to have done that, unless she could have just lived at the payroll of Star Wars alone. But I think she blew a lot of that on coke or something.
Yeah, so
look it up, Coke Nail.
Coke Nail, yeah.
Carrie Fisher.
Seriously, I'll put a picture like right now. Coke Nail. I think that's it. You know, we can talk about it forever, but I think you get the point that we liked it a lot. It's not perfect. It's not a perfect movie. Or do you think it's a perfect movie?
I don't think it's a perfect movie, but
No movie's
almost
perfect.
nothing. Yeah, almost nothing is perfect. I would rate it about as good as Part 5, maybe a little bit less. That it depends on nostalgia.
I think it depends on what you expect. I think our expectations. I love Star Wars, and you do love Star Wars.
Yeah,
as well.
I went into it with thinking,
thought
I think I'm gonna like it, but there are probably gonna be a lot of fans that are gonna be upset. And I went out thinking like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, it
and
was a lot
I
better
still
than
think
we
fans
both
are gonna be
expected.
upset about
Yeah.
some. They're gonna find some things, but not nearly as much as I thought it would be.
No, it was way. I didn't think it was going to be bad, but it was way better than I ever expected
Yeah.
it to be.
But
It was better than it had any right to be. It could
Yeah.
be really bad and just be a cash in.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just doing everything from the original
Yeah.
trilogy again.
Yeah, but at the other hand,
but it's
like
not.
Disney bought it and they really want to milk the franchise. Like that's just how it is. Otherwise, they wouldn't buy it.
Yeah.
So they want at least the first one to be extremely good. Else they're
Yeah.
not. It's not gonna work.
Well, we can say this about the ending. We're gonna spoil the ending, but we're gonna say it made us want to see the next movie already.
Yeah.
So that because this one was good and it had a sort of cliffhanger ending and not really like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next, but like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you
it
pretty
ends-
much know. Like you can very much think about stuff that's gonna happen next because
Yeah.
they're very good at hinting at stuff. So you kind of have an idea that's gonna happen, but you still don't know how it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So that's it. I'd say go watch it.
Yeah,
Right,
I'd say
that's our recommendation.
Go watch it.
I'm not sure if if you never liked Star Wars before, if you're like, oh, those movies were awful.
You can still give it a try.
Yeah, but I don't
not
think
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think you will think this one
It's
will.
it's a space action movie.
Yeah, if you
and that's what it is.
if you don't care for that, if you don't care for like
Yeah.
TIE fighters and Jedi, you don't care for this movie.
Yeah, I think five is the best movie out of the previous 6, and I think this one rivals that one. Maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. I don't know exactly. I liked a lot of the practical effects of 5. I think 5 had enough, a big enough budget, but didn't have the bullshit of Ewoks in 6. You know.
Yeah, 5 was the most dramatic and the most like, serious.
And the best. And 4 had too small budget, and 6, like I said, had the Ewoks. And tried to be too much of a buddy action movie, you know, like really like constantly.
We gotta make this clear.
Stuff.
There's no annoying comic relief. There's comic relief characters, but they're not annoying.
Yeah,
There
they're
are
very
no Jar Jar
naturally.
Binks.
They're very naturally written. Like they're just like I said, the main characters that are just try to be funny sometimes.
Yeah. So that's it. I think we're done here,
Yeah.
right? I mean, there's nothing more we can say without going on forever. So just go watch the movie if you like Star Wars. If you don't, we're not sure. That's it. I liked it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time in the spoiler corner.
May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.